He's one of the OGs that's just like Mike Hickson and Carlos and the brothers that we had up. And when he watched it, he said, interesting. So, being as though OG, hate it, bring his mic all the way up, not on duty. Being as though OG, and go get a cordless, hate it. Being as though OG is like a super OG, I want to be able to talk about his story and his documentary, along with his website that's about to air and come out, because OG is somebody that I respect. Not only that, some of my history was in one of the clubs that he owned with another owner. He was one of the owners of the High Rollers nightclub in West Philadelphia on 60th and Market. Like, if anybody know anything about the High Rollers,
Moon Gang.
Yeah, like it was 60th and Market.
Moon
Like,
Gang.
and he's he's a legend. OG is a legend. Don't let the suit fool you. Respectfully, but well mannered. And I just want to get to talk about his story, and I want to see how maybe we could play, his what you call him on the green screen. Yeah,
His trailer.
I forgot how we gotta do it, but that's gonna be decent, because I want to show the people that. And first of all, ladies and gentlemen, this is Brother Emmanuel Brown. Brother Emmanuel Brown is a brother that did 26 years. Am I right? 25 years.
That's egregious.
And a state and federal penitentiaries.
No, all feds.
All feds?
Feds.
Okay.
Feds on
And
my landline.
the reason why we bring in the OGs to come talk about their stories, because we try to, and I learned to turn that light out, to talk about our stories. I'm glad I caught on, because when I watched the other day, I said, oh, too much light. And Fran said, "Not because you light skinned." No, but I forgot who was on the show that was dark skinned, and I'm like, because look at
Carlos quadruple OG.
Carlos,
Quadruple
Carlos
OG.
was dark skinned, but Carlos said, that's right.
He wasn't
Chef said, he was a little light. Yeah, he ain't a motherfucker style like Fran.
No, sir.
Fran is what we call motherfucker style. When you get to
I'm
a certain
around.
pigmentation, certain dark,
Holla at me,
close to the
sweetheart.
original.
Yes, sweetheart.
Goddamn.
Yes.
That's props. When we say motherfucker style, that's me and him insider.
Look at this.
But
shine
Brother
like
Emmanuel
licorice.
Brown, thank you for taking your time to come sit with me, because not only that, on a Friday, no disrespect, player, to be able to own them type of establishments, you had to be a pimp player. Growing up, we always was fascinated about the pimp player. So let me tell you my side about the OG. OG presented himself. I seen the Body to Kill for a movie. Yeah, I want to get my documentary. And OG, for the sake of me, because I always jack that name up, his documentary is called
Egregious.
Okay, Fran.
Prosecutional misconduct.
Okay, Fran. He got it right, OG?
Almost. I fucked the P word up, but
what is it, OG?
No, he was cool though, but it was egregious prosecutorial misconduct.
Prosecutorial.
See, we don't see
misconduct.
See, Fran is a part of them smart people that be conscious and telling how you shouldn't do this and conspiracy that and other. Whoever my cousin Star Chuji and them, they more like, if I could put the politics in it, how they say right wing, left wing, but not meaning that. But Fran is left wing or right wing, whatever. It don't matter what side he on. He one of them people that be on the DL diagnosing stuff and be like, So he got it a little more. But the reason why OG is talking about his story, because he did 25 years at a penitentiary for a bank robbery that he never did. That happened in North Carolina when he was he was in Pennsylvania. He was in West Philly.
Yeah, in the hood.
And his story is very, very interesting and deep. And I said, OG, this story is deep, deep, deep. I had the pleasure to sit down with him. And when we went over the conversation, how everybody be blowing smoke, talking But when he had paperwork to show the proof, like I never in my life seen a phony deed, a phony
warrant.
Wait a minute, a phony contract. Yeah, I seen some phony contracts, but a phony deed, a phony warrant, a phony anything that's supposed to be done. Like, damn, how you do that? Like, all right, I done seen a phony driver's license from somebody that had one before, and I thought that was one of the most fascinating things I have ever seen in my whole entire life, honestly. But when I seen his documents, I was blown away. And the reason why I want OG to come up, not tell you his whole story, because I want you guys, and OG, I ain't going to put him out there too much, but I'm going to just say this. I said, OG, you could do a listening party, a premiere, a watch party for, all the other OGs that he cool with that, want to see it. He said, no, I just want to let him see it. Oh, so you don't want to make, you don't want to make the donuts? Like we tell the kids, we're going to make the donuts. You don't want to make the extra donuts? He say, no. Because he feel like his story is more important to get out there for some of the other young brothers. Don't be afraid if you've been wrongfully convicted, wrongfully charged. Listen, it ain't got to be on the federal or state or city level. It could be in your relationship. Because me and Fran diagnose people. So, if she wrong as shit, bring her ass up here. Tell us the story, and we'll tell you what we think. No, I'm not Steve Harvey, Judge Mathis. No, I can keep it real, though.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, Maury, yeah, right. Nelly Yo got it right. She hit it on the money. So, Emmanuel Brown, when I sat down with him, and he showed me this paperwork, I was blown away. I really was. And I want y'all to check out something. Watch this. I'm going to pause for 3 seconds. Let me see if y'all peep something. Look at old head. Serious as shit. Carlos last week. Serious as shit. Michael Hickson. Serious as shit. Abu Bobaines, rest in peace, when I interviewed him. Serious as shit. One thing I learned about the OGs, when they tell a story and the things that they went through, it's serious to them. And we should start taking life serious as tragedies that we're going through right now. Emmanuel Brown, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Very happy
born and raised, brother. Tell the people where you're born and raised from, and you want to introduce yourself. Because I like the way the OGs introduce themselves, because the people that always was fascinated by afar get a chance to sit back on TV when they was scared to ride in the car with you, or you pick them up and you say, go ahead, get in the front seat. But go ahead. I'm sorry, OG. Go ahead.
That's all right, brother.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing, and I appreciate it. But listen, my name is Emmanuel Brown.
Uh-huh.
I was born and raised in North Philly, 6 and Columbia Avenue. Of course, the C's will be more now. But, I come up on a rough neighborhood, come up in a gang. I used to be from Marshall and Master, and Marshall and York was joined together back then. Of course, you had Eighth and Diamond and Tenderlines, you had the Valley, you had all kinds of gangs back then.
We learned about the Tenderlines.
The Tenderline.
But listen, the thing
come on in, TNT. Yeah. Go ahead, OG.
The thing of it is that back then, it was all about these. It was all about the knucks.
The knuckles. Right.
We wasn't doing no hella five. Well, of course, we didn't have no guns back then anyway. I only had a few of them. Most of them were zip guns, but back
and what's
then,
a zip gun?
Well, that's a self-made joint that
Okay.
it's like a rubber band with a trigger tied to it.
Right. Right. That's crazy. That's classic. Right. That's crazy.
But,
what they kind of doing now on a newer level. But go ahead.
Well, no, I know what you're talking about, because I've seen some of that on YouTube. The new weapons that they're using that they can get through the airport without being
traces
detected.
and all that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But anyway, a lot of people that's familiar with that particular area. There was a club called RW Brown Boys Club. It was on 9th and Columbia.
Wow, what year was that?
This was in the 60s.
Wow.
They had a boxing ring in there, and I got 6 brothers and 3 sisters. And God bless their soul, 2 of them are passed in the last 2 years. But anyway, we used to go there. Me and my brothers, we used to box in there. And, when you're from a gang, you pretty much have to box everybody, because the bottom line is if you box one person, 5 minutes later, maybe less than that, somebody else will jump in, you got to box that person. Before you realize you done box 20 niggas at the same time.
Wow.
And you be wore out at the end of the day. But it is what it was. It made you stronger. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
And, I got caught up at a very early age. I didn't tell you this story, but I'll put it out there.
You can tell this story. Go ahead.
For the radio.
Yeah, I got caught up in the juvenile justice system when I was like, 12, 13.
Wow, that young.
I ended up in the Youth Study Center, ended up in Glen Mills, ended up in Dallas in 64. I got out of Dallas in 67.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
So what was going on? Like,
so what was you doing, OG?
Like,
Sounds like you was pretty busy.
No, what it was that, back then, your parents didn't have no money to hire a lawyer, when you got caught up, and they was just snatching, young boys and not too many girls, but young boys off the street and locking them up.
So they just picked you up and locked you up.
No, you had to be doing something, OG. What was y'all doing back in the day?
No, we got accused of some stuff. That didn't necessarily mean we did it. We got accused of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we be carrying it.
He
be carrying it.
All right, well, what was the accusation?
Well, I mean, wait a minute.
Hold a minute. Wait,
Go ahead, OG.
No, what happened was a couple of trucks got broken into because there was a trucking company a couple blocks from us, and they got broken into. They didn't know who did it, so they were just snatching up young boys.
I get it.
Snatching up, young teenagers and throwing them in the system.
I get it.
Now,
the
only thing I remember
was
one of my brothers.
Shit, I wouldn't remember neither.
No, listen.
There wasn't even no cameras back
go ahead,
then.
OG. Go ahead, OG.
What I remember, what I recall back
we tell
then,
jokes. Go ahead.
I don't play you no mind, man.
I know you don't, OG.
Yeah, but
go
listen,
ahead.
back then, from what I remember as far back then, one of my brothers or one of the guys in the gang had busted in one of the trucks and stole some Stetson hats.
Stetson hats.
Yeah, Stetson hats.
Well,
way back then. So
okay,
and
that was big to be back then. What year was that?
Probably had to be around 62, 63, somewhere in that area. And the police was investigating who burglarized the trucks and all that. So they were just snatching up people. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, if you didn't have no lawyer, you couldn't defend yourself. And your people ain't had no money to hire, private counsel. You know what I mean? So you just, trust me. Listen, let me tell you something. When I was up Dallas, I got released in 1967 by a judge. I'll never forget his name. His name was Adrian Benelli. He was a president judge. And he said he released 300 men from Dallas. And he said we were the forgotten men of Dallas.
Wow.
And he cut all us loose because there was no evidence that we had committed any crimes. We just got caught up in the system. And that's on the real.
No, I believe that. It was a time, honestly, not to joke about it, but we'd have read many books. There's a lot of books out there that explained it, especially in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
For those all over the world that may be tuned in and wherever you're from, Philadelphia has went through, especially that an era that I remember symbolically to what you're describing is like the Rizzo era.
Yeah.
Where,
that was one of the worst eras.
Yeah, that's what they say.
I mean, Rizzo was a monster. I mean, come on, man. He didn't care about nobody but himself. He didn't even care about the department because he made the department look bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it was like, let's do what we got to do to get these niggas off the street.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? But that's
so all your hangouts was in North Philadelphia. How did you get out west?
Well, what happened was I was back and forth from west because back then they had a lot of nightclubs. They had the clubs on.
What's the name of them?
Okay, well, you had the Record Poom Poom. You had
the Record Poom Poom.
That's what it was called.
You gave. You wasn't at the Record Poom Poom. Oh, you was not hanging at the Record Poom Poom.
And you
what
had
else?
Up Jump the Devil. You had Ceros.
Up Jump the Devil. I remember Ceros. I heard of Ceros.
Yeah, Ceros on Old Guys
but
Avenue.
I ain't never heard Up Jump the Devil. What was y'all doing in there, OG? Yeah.
You know, back then everybody was hanging out. That was even some that wasn't 21 was still hanging out. So
Allegedly.
yeah.
Allegedly, yeah. Allegedly.
Nobody seen nobody
Nobody
doing it.
seen it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't no cameras back there.
Yeah, but no, back then everything was more or less about the nightlife. You had clubs all over Philadelphia. You had Kim Graves right there on 20.
Kim Graves, wow, classic.
Yeah, then you had Serendipity. Then you had
Serendipity.
Fran act like he knows Serendipity. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know that
I
word.
went there before.
I know that word.
But more so on the west side, you had Cosmopolitan was the best club back then.
Wow.
On 52nd in Baltimore.
What was the best club in the 70s, 60s, and the 70s in Philadelphia, period? I don't care, nightclub, day club, the best. They had the best interaction.
Well, I would have to say Ciro's because
Wow.
most people from
Over
all
the
over
Uptown
the
New Tech?
yeah,
Ogon's Ave. Cyril's is up Ogon's Ave, right?
yeah.
See,
Uptown.
you didn't even know about
Uptown.
that. I put you on.
No, I heard of Cyril's.
Yeah, that's
I ain't saying I never been there, but I heard
because
of
they
it.
had a place a couple blocks from there called the Stenton Diner, and people used to go there to eat right after they left Ciro's. You know what I mean? Because niggas hungry after they finish hanging out in the club all night. So
Right.
that was another hangout, the Stenton Diner. But that was one of the few clubs back then.
How was the Uptown New Tech? You got any experience with that?
You talking about the one on Broad? And,
Yeah. Cecil B. Moore? What's that? No,
Broad
Broad
and Susquehanna.
Yeah, Susquehanna.
Well, I mean, mostly that club was for entertainment purposes. You know, you had a lot of disc jockeys.
Oh, that was a bougie joint you trying to say. Yeah, I wasn't hanging on that down. That
But it wasn't what you call like a hangout type joint. They had,
Gotcha.
they had entertainment there.
He said it wasn't a place where the players meet. You know, understand? And, people would go in there and do a little dancing and the things of that nature. But it wasn't no true players. And you know what I mean?
No, you had the players come through there when there was live entertainment. Like Michael Jackson came through there, James Brown.
Right.
A lot of the old acts, that's where they went through.
So basically, that was like the Staples Center. That was just somewhere people go to watch people entertain.
Right.
That's basically, I follow what you're saying.
Georgia Woods back then.
I follow you.
Georgia Woods, right, absolutely.
And then you had Butterball. He was down at Phoenix. That was on 7th and Arch.
Okay.
Well, Phoenix was open during the time my spots was open, because I had the Eminem Club Unique on 51st and Market first.
Okay.
And, that was a hot spot. Niggas lined up from corner to corner. But my problem with that was that, everybody waited till 2 o'clock to come see me because I was open at 7 o'clock in the morning.
See, so you was housing the shenanigans. Come on.
Yeah.
The whole city. Come on over here.
After
2 to 7 in the morning.
The after party.
like Sonny Viner. I think you remember Sonny Viner and him and Neat. Their bar was up the street from us, and they used to close their bar and come see us.
I remember Neat's.
Yeah.
Neat's bar.
Well, that was basically Sonny and Neat.
Yeah. What was the bar right there on the corner that used to have a little go-go? It was a little small bar right up above Carroll's Park. Right there on the corner.
Talking about the Ponytail?
The Ponytail. Yo, that was back in the early 80s. I remember because
that was more 70s than 80s.
Well, I was going there like the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah, but they stopped. But I'm saying it was jumping more.
Not the Ponytail. Wait a minute. What's that? Carroll's Park Master. That bar right there. Oh, what was the name of that? Was it Ponytail?
We ain't talking about 1990. We had another spot on 50th and Master called 1990.
No, this is like 58th. No, this is like 58th and
58th and Master. I know who you're talking about. It was a go-go spot.
Yeah,
that was the 80s.
You couldn't touch them. You couldn't touch them.
I thought you was talking about 52nd Street.
No.
Okay.
No. Now, Neats, when you hung the youngin' guys my age, you couldn't hang in them bars. It wasn't. Well, let me just say this: the image that them Johns had, that you ain't want to hang in them Johns. Like the gang. I mean, come on. I told you I used to be in a lot of the High Rollers nightclub with LaRue, Rhino, and a couple of the West Philly guys. Rest in peace, Hook. That was when we was doing Philly Uncut, Fran had a chance to experience Lil Hook, because when we was out there filming, not on duty, we was out there filming, the cops was in front of the deli, which right now they have as a big, huge, what's that, a residential corporate center?
Yeah, it's called the
Talking about 59th and Market.
Yeah, 60th and Market.
Well, it's between 59th.
Your old building, the
old High Road Studio.
Yeah, it's like I could say it. That club was a nuisance club, as Jarrett's Uptown and a few others. Only reason why I say that because it wasn't the owner's fault that everybody in the whole, especially like the High Rollers is where all the gangsters hung. I ain't gonna lie, I was in there.
John and Ponch on 58th Street.
John and Ponch from oh my God, John and Ponch from 58th Street. That's the guys that you know the story about. He went and bought a 745 like Aaron Jones, green, the same color, and Aaron and them sent some guys to take it. When the car got taken, it was taken in front of his club. This is a fact, I'm telling you. So just to paint the picture of his just the history of the OG, not glorifying any nonsense.
No.
This stories is unique. When his documentary come out, watch it. It's going to teach you something, especially if you guys may know somebody that you can help that's on the inside and you on the outside, maybe, and you know they fit the description of some things that they may be going through. You might can lend them a helping hand by being on the outside. Because he had to wait 25 years before him to come out and defend himself and request all this documentation that put him in jail for 25 years. And then when he got it, he seen in a discovery that, wow, they prosecuted me for 25 years on a false accusation.
False accusation, false evidence, false fabricated evidence, the whole 9 yards. The whole case was a total lie.
So
from front to back.
So like, how did you get out? Like, what was the moment?
Well, I did the time.
No, I know you did the time, of course. That.
But you said, how did I get out?
No, I'm asking. This is what I'm asking. This is what I'm asking. Like,
young boys, you ain't got no choice when you get that tick. Go ahead.
Like, did you have a exact 25 years, or did you have a certain 20?
I had 27 and a half.
See, this is what I'm saying. So.
Oh, he walked off parole.
So, see, this is what I'm getting to.
So he had 25 to 50. What did you have? What would you sentence to?
27 and a half. And then when I came home in 2014, I had to walk 5 years off.
So he did 25 in the jail and had to walk off 5 on the street.
So they gave him an extra 2.5 to catch a little more time on the streets. That was like a little trade they gave you.
Yeah, well they do that because you gotta be trustworthy.
They just put you
back. I know they put you back.
And guess what? Say for instance that I know guys that had 10 to 20s. All right, they did 10 years. They might have gotten a little trouble. They did 13 years. They came home. They walked off. Then every year they had a year left. Catch a felony. Go back to jail. Guess what starts over? The whole time.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm just saying, the whole exact time. So all the 9 years you walked off, that was on the strength. Nope, it starts all over. Backport.
So what you do your first day out?
Good question, Fran. He smiled on that one. What'd you do when you first came out,
OG? See, y'all assuming shit.
No, I'm just asking.
First of all, hold up. Let me explain something to you.
That's Skinny Big Papa. That ain't me.
Listen, hold it. When you ain't dealt with the opposite sex in so many years, you don't even think about that right away.
You don't.
Because you're so used to not even having it there available to you. So I just wanted a nice meal. Dealing with a woman came later.
So OG said, I'd rather have said book of shrimp than some yams when I first came home. It was a wrap. No.
It's on the road.
The first 48 hours, he wanted a said book of shrimp. No yams. He ain't want no yams, no chicks.
But you got to hold up, slow down. You got to remember now. I wasn't the same age I was when I went the hell in.
I know. That's a good point.
When I first went in, my shit was jumping up like, you know what I mean? It'll wake me the hell up. You know what I mean? When I come home, I'm 66 years old. Yeah, I'm senior citizen status now.
Damn.
So you know,
that was
a big difference.
Yeah, you came home. You was a super OG. So you came out super OG. That was the first thing you did when you came home. What's one of the blessings about what you learned from going into jail? Right, wrong, or indifferent. How did how did you fix yourself? Because I know you don't want to go back to jail.
Of course not. Nobody does. I mean,
so
nobody
how
in
did
their right
you?
mind anyway.
What knowledge of self did you implement to say I ain't going back? I ain't. Because that's a key for a lot of people. Might need that inspiration to stop recidivism.
I mean, no matter how careful you are in terms of your association with different people, sometimes you get caught up and you don't even realize you caught up with people doing some messed up stuff. You know what I mean? Doing drugs, robbing, whatever. So, you know, your association makes a big difference.
Right.
And I've been home 9 years now, and I'm very careful about, you know, the people that, you know, I'm around, because I know, you know, the game ain't changed. The game is still the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? The game is lock them up, throw away the key.
Right.
Whether you're old or young, they don't care. They just want a warm body to keep the count up. They don't want no jail that got empty cells. They're trying to fill themselves up. So, you know, I mean, my thing is, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to be around nobody, nowhere that's doing stuff that I can get caught up in by accident, or even, you know what I mean? Because that's what it is.
Good words
accident.
of wisdom. Yeah, it do.
I mean?
It do.
Foolishness.
It do, OG. That's a great word of wisdom. And just for the record, tell the people where they can actually find you, because let me just tell you what OG is specialized in. OG is a super OG. He's actually just trying to help any of the super OGs out there that want to actually review any young people. If you went through a symbolic issue where you were wrongfully accused, now I say humorous even with your girl. If you in any kind of paperwork situation, he's the master of looking at your situation and see, because let me tell you, a lot of us as people, when we get into situations, we don't know how to get out of them. And if you learn how to use paperwork, you can stop a lot of nonsense. You can stop a lot of stuff. And then when somebody attack you, you can wrongfully attack them back. I hope y'all understand that part.
Okay, listen, let me say this, Eric. I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead, brother. You the science.
Let me say this. When it comes to dealing with the legal system in this country, you know, you already 90 shades to the wind. You already.
What does that mean, OG? Break it down.
90 shades to the wind.
Shit out of luck.
Basically.
Okay.
Basically, it means shit out of luck, for a better word. Because here's the thing. The whole system is geared against you. You know, they don't look at whether or not you're innocent or you're guilty. You're automatically guilty in their eyesight. People assume when you get arrested, you did something wrong, especially in the federal system, because back in the day, people used to say if the feds investigating you, they got you. But that's not true all the time. And so people have to understand that, you know, I mean, the feds is the most intimidating agency in the country.
Yeah, they are.
You know, people talking about the feds, they say FBI, people start shitting on themselves. You know what I mean? And I understand that because, you know, 90% of the time they do have the goods on you. But then what about the other 10%? And the only way you find out about that 10% that they don't have shit on you is you got to don't play games, let that lawyer play games with you. Get that damn discovery. That's the whole key. Once you get discovery, you can see exactly who your alleged witnesses are. You can see what's being said. You can see what the alleged probable cause is. If you're lucky, you might even get a copy of the grand jury transcript where you can see how the grand jury indicted you. So the whole thing of it is that, you know, be informed and not misinformed. And unfortunately, most of us are misinformed about the true facts of record. So, you know, my thing is, like I said, if you got some paperwork and you want me to look at it, I'm not advocating that I'm a lawyer, but I can.
He has empirical knowledge. He has a lot of experience that can show you and save you from spending money on a retainer fee that you may not need to spend to retain.
Right. Plus, I can show you what you need to look for.
Right.
You know what I mean? Find out what the charge is. You know what I mean? Then I can tell you what to look for in terms of the criminal complaint, the information or the indictment or whatever. I mean, the federal system is basically three systems. It's criminal complaint, information, or indictment. Those are the three ways that they bring you into their system.
Oh,
now,
wow.
Yeah, now the state is similar to that, but I don't think the state has the information that they can bring you in. They generally have a complaint, and then they go to a grand jury under the state. But in the feds, it's three different avenues to get you in the court.
Oh,
you know
okay.
What I mean? So, but you need to look at that stuff very carefully because the alleged witnesses may not exist. You can't assume that. Like, I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. There was an agent that testified at my trial. It was a 3-week trial. They made me represent myself. And the agent, he came to court. He claimed that he found fingerprints on alleged getaway vehicles. And they belonged to 2 of the alleged suspects in the case.
Right.
But those fingerprints didn't exist. But these guys didn't know it because they was intimidated by what the feds and the lawyers told them. So they ended up pleading guilty. And to be honest with you, don't nobody know who the hell committed the crime. Don't nobody know who robbed the bank. Because the agent went to the grand jury and said that one of the guys didn't fit the description, even though he ended up pleading guilty to it. But he said he didn't fit the description. So he pled guilty because they was threatening him with, I don't know, I think it was 30 or 40 years or something like that.
Wow.
And this is the same guy who recanted his testimony against me and took a lie detector test about maybe 2 months ago, indicating that he lied at my trial.
Dang.
So that's one of the things that I'm using to get back in court on. I have a lawyer right now, and you know, I don't have to, I'm not ashamed of his name. His name is Jerry Brown, the same last name as mine. And you know, he agrees with me 100%. We can file a petition in the court to get the conviction thrown out. Now, of course, we got an uphill battle because you're dealing with the feds. You know what I mean? And they don't like giving them convictions back. But in this case, it should never been a conviction, period. It should never been a trial. It should never even been an arrest.
I was blown away.
Well, you seen the documentation there.
Yeah, I was blown away.
You know what I mean?
Black Magazine.
I can't wait
31.
so we can release it, man. We should
Black
be releasing
31
it.
Magazine.
Yep, we should be releasing it like early as, well, it's up to OG, but we're going to check out a final review. Wait till the website is up so that way we can push the link out and let everybody check it out.
I mean, because this is information that people really need, man. I mean, they really
trust me. I was blown away, and I was like, damn.
I mean,
you know how many people you can help? Yeah, you will never, ever, ever know.
Because I couldn't believe it when I read that paperwork, and I was like, well, wait a minute. They never had nothing. They just fabricated everything, and that's quite.
They were selling wolf tickets.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's unusual. It's just that they got caught up because they forced me to represent myself. And when they forced me to represent myself, they had to give me the discovery. Had I let that
that turncoat trying to turn you over to them people,
if I had let that court lawyer represent me, the stuff that I have today, I would have never had. I would have been able to prove anything because he wasn't trying. First of all, look at it like this here. He's the first person to see discovery, right?
Right.
Which means that he had to see all the illegalities in the case before I did.
Right.
You know what I mean? He had to say to himself, well, gee, where's the probable cause? Where's the warrant? You know, where's the documentation to prove that this guy's involved?
They already had a deal. He was like, listen, we already railroading this guy. He already,
he stepped out the way, OG.
And it started from the door.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I remember they first told me don't get a public defender, right? But I wasn't getting into no crazy trouble. I ain't listening to nobody. As soon as I go into the PD office, he's like, listen here, doctors smoke weed, lawyers smoke weed. I said, bro, I ain't trying to hear none of that, bro. I ain't do nothing. Listen, you just telling them you just like trying to get me to. Yeah, listen, bro, I don't got nothing to do with that. No, bro. When I get to the courtroom, right, boy, I was like, bro, didn't I tell you you not represent me, bro? Get out of here. He gotta go. Bro, get out of here. So I happen to represent myself also, you know what I mean? Okay. You know what I mean? That's just because, like what you said, I wasn't feeling the boy energy. Like, you ain't even listen to my story, and you telling me something I asked you about, bro. I'm about to tell the lawyers and judges you a rat. You snitching on them, talking about how they do this and coke and chambers
Yeah,
and
but
all
you know
that.
the problem with
Bro.
that is the judge already know any goddamn way.
Yeah.
but that's just,
Ain't nothing slow about that judge. The
No.
judge. Most of the judges are part of the same conspiracy, to be honest with you. And it's
Wow.
a shame that it's that way. But then you have to remember now, most judges are former prosecutors.
Right.
And they lean towards the government's case, period.
I ain't gonna lie, I had a good judge though. She was like Judge Judy.
Oh, I'm not saying that.
She was
got
like-
some good
No,
ones out
all
there.
judges not bad.
She was like, he
No,
must have
of course
ain't do
not.
it. I was screaming like, I ain't doing nothing. Lock me the fuck up. She's like, calm down. I'm not guilty. Sir, you're not guilty. Just sign this paper. Man, I ain't doing community service. I ain't paying fines. She's like, sir, calm down. Somebody pay it for him, man. Just get him out of here. She was like, oh, nice white lady. Nice Judge Judy of a white lady.
$60.
Like I was like,
Go to
"Bet."
the county.
Yeah. No, I just had to do like 40 hours of community service, pay like one drug and alcohol abuse fine. They still got me because I ain't do
So
nothing.
you was drinking? It was a
No,
drinking
I was
night?
black on a Friday. That's when they beat me up. I was about to graduate college. I guess I live in the hood. So they beat me up and locked me up. That's when I was screaming out NAACP because the state troopers came. Like, yo, like that joint in the
All right,
hood.
that's right. All right.
Yeah, it's that joint public record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I ain't even from your era, but I pulled some shit.
He didn't know what he was yelling out. He just yelled out,
They
NAACP.
tried to stop me the fuck out. I had to think fast. I'm too young to die on by cop boots.
Dude, that's funny. That you just yell out anything and they like,
They like,
shut
oh,
up.
what the fuck? No, I fucked them up with that.
They didn't know what you were
yo,
saying.
they just picked me up head first, threw me the cop car like a bowling ball. Like, all right, get in there, dickhead, you snitching. Like, take this ass whooping like a man.
That's crazy. So, old head, so you are on Instagram and you are on Facebook, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Emmanuel Brown, everything. One thing about
Well,
old
the Facebook and the Instagram is under Mannix Brown.
Mannix, that's right.
How
Where
you
you get
spell
Mannix
that?
from?
Spell that.
M-A-N-I-X.
No, 2 N's.
M-A-N-N-I-X. Mannix Brown.
Mm.
Where did you get, what is Mannix?
Like,
real quick.
Malcolm?
Well, most people that's named Emmanuel, they call him Manny, or well, I think I got the Mannix from somebody, one of my friends or family back in the day, long time ago.
Oh, shit. What the Mannix stand for?
Well, the Mannix stand for, Emmanuel Brown.
Okay. What was your nickname in the streets? Yeah, all the OGs got a
That was
nickname.
my nickname, Mannix.
Mannix.
Yeah, that's what
okay.
everybody called me.
Mhm.
Not a family member still call me Manny, but most of my friends call me Mannix.
I got to ask, what's the OG that we met? Yo, Ernie.
Oh, Ernie.
I got to ask OG,
Yeah.
OG Ernie. What the Mannix stand for? Oh, shit. Mannix stand for, man, he used to run down there and Mannix on the nigga eyeballs. So I just know for the record that sometimes some of the old heads be having some nicknames, and like some of the young boys, now they got nicknames nowadays. The young boys do got nicknames nowadays. But OG, man, keep striving, and I wish the outcome of your case. I wish the best. What are you looking for out of this case? What are you looking to create?
I'm looking to get his conviction back, number one, because it should have never been a conviction.
But you did 25 years. You looking to get that
But
back?
no. You can still get the conviction thrown out. And see, the conviction in this situation is basically based on fraud upon the court and lack of subject matter jurisdiction. In other words, if you don't have probable cause to bring somebody before a judge or magistrate, whatever, you can't go no further than that, because everything begins and ends with probable cause.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So in this particular case, they never had probable cause, so they never had subject matter jurisdiction. And subject matter jurisdiction can be raised at any time, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later.
So,
Wow.
So, like, if you did the time already, what's the point of getting it thrown out?
Well, the point of it is that being exonerated, number one. Number two, as far as financial compensation.
Okay, now give OG that check. There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, look, they took over the $100,000 from me when they locked me up.
Oh,
wow.
man.
You know what I
I
mean?
didn't know that.
And
I did know that. We got to watch the documentary. Don't tell them everything, OG.
All right. Okay.
That and that.
I'm
Cause
telling right,
see, we
man.
already gave y'all a lot. We gave y'all enough just to give you a little piece of the pie. Now, when it come out, all you gotta do is watch it. Just watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's gonna be on his website. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah. You go right to his website and watch it. Get a whole pie.
You're gonna learn something. You know what I mean?
You're gonna learn
some very valuable information.
You're gonna learn something. You know,
regardless of what happened to me later on down the line, whether I live today, tomorrow, next year, whatever. At least that information will be out there and available to people that can make use of it. You know what I mean? All you got to do is just listen to it very carefully, understand, overstand, you know what I mean? And, it's going to be helpful to you and your family.
Right.
Yeah, you know my favorite quote.
Come on, you can get ready, DJ Most Hated. We need an old school
this
beat
is my favorite quote.
To take OG off the show.
My favorite quote was
some old school.
Just keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. That's my favorite quote from the documentary.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the bottom line. I mean, people have a tendency to want to talk, explain shit. Don't explain a goddamn thing.
Keep your mouth shut. Tell them what to do, OG.
Yeah, make sure you got a lawyer that has your best interest at heart. And then, you can say, okay, well, this is where we want to go with this here. Don't let him direct you. You direct him. You paying him.
Right.
And even if you ain't paying him, he still has to have your best interest at heart. If he don't, then you got to tell the court, give you another mouthpiece.
Bottom line.
Oh, my God.
And that's from Brother Emmanuel Brown, a.k.a. on his Instagram and Facebook, Mannix Brown.
With two N's.
With two N's. And it's MANNIX Brown. Super OG. Thank you for sitting with us.
Thanks a lot.
Hip Hop on Deck Radio. No Hip Hop on Deck Weekly Buzz. Let me at least check real quick before he gets started. Let me check and just make sure I didn't get none. Because sometime I'll be lunching and I don't think I got a Hip Hop on Deck Weekly Buzz because things was a lot. And for the record, man, peace in paradise. YNG Cheese. I love you, nephew, man.
Figure game.
And thank everybody for showing all the families love. Gil been hearing it. Everybody who was tight when we was together earlier was explaining who was sending their love. So don't think that, right now he's getting a lot of communication. Let him, the dad, the mom, the family, let them have their inner space, I know the janaza is going to be like Monday for a fact, you know what I'm saying, just so you'll know. But wait till the family put everything out, man, and thank y'all for y'all support. Triple OG, Emmanuel
Brown.
Mannix with two N's. The documentary coming soon, and his website is emmanuelbrown.com. We see y'all next week on this side. But we're going to do us on the grown side. Glockaway Radio, HipHopOnDeck.com. Come on, hate it. We're going to take OG out of here. Look. OG can't dance off that. You can't get the girl on the dance floor off that, OG, can you? Come on, OG, let me show you what you would have did to your high club. Let me see OG got some moves.
Yeah, what he would have did
Turn
in the
him
club
up.
back there.
Let me see OG got some. He said, OG said, I ain't got no moves.
I rolled on him.
Super OG, Glockaway Radio.
He said, moon gang going.
Glockaway Radio, the #1 station in the country. Hip Hop on Deck Radio, DJ Most Hated, Fran RTG.
But God, Mannix Brown.
Top 10. We see y'all next week on this side.